This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm a Digimon analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Get ready for a next level discussion of those monster friends to the boys and girls. Digimon Liberator episode 6 was really cool. It was many parts. I don't remember how many. I think it was like 6 or 7 parts. That's how long it felt anyway. And while it was long, and I was a little taken aback by how long it was, or kind of surprised, or I don't know, maybe slightly overwhelmed by how much it was. Honestly, here's the thing. I'm in a place where I don't have a lot of time right now. So anything longer than like a, 15-minute, 20-minute thing is like, oh, this is long. What am I going to do? But I read it over the course of, I don't know, a good chunk of time. And I'm sure glad I did, because it was really good. And it was really entertaining. And I kept wanting, or I wanted to keep reading it. It had me hooked for sure. And it was a really good time. I'm glad I didn't read it week to week, because I like having it just all in one go. It's slightly irritating about the recaps that are in the beginning of the separate parts of a single episode. But that's okay. I can totally handle it. And it's not a big deal. So I'm content to deal with them, so to speak. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It was a lot of fun. I liked that the stakes were kind of low. It's just, do they get to be part of the debug team or not? And, if he loses, it isn't, if Shoto loses, it isn't, the fate of the world at stake or anything like that. Although I guess if it ends up being that the fate of the world is something that becomes the stakes of the debug team and everything, then him losing here could have ultimately tipped the scales. But I mean, I'm saying for this individual story, it's not what's going on, or this individual section of the story. And I kind of hesitate to say story, because it's a little silly to say it's not silly to say it's a story. There is definitely a story going on here, but it seems to be like a lot smaller personal story for now. And these battles go on for so long, and they take such a while to play out and accomplish, that it makes the story feel like it's going really slowly, even though everything's really action-packed as you go along. And I think I like that balance. I think I prefer the storytelling to be working that way, because the story's unrolling very slowly, but what we're getting instead of plot, I guess, is a lot of character, and we're getting a lot of fun and interesting dynamics, and we're getting tension and getting to see people in tight spaces. Joey's been in a lot of tight spaces before, but he's always gotten out of them. Sorry, I recently marathoned Yu-Gi-Oh! The first, 5 seasons or whatever, the first, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters anime, and they sure say, Joey's been in a lot of tight spaces before. A lot. It's very funny. Or Yugi, a lot of tight spaces is what they talk about. And I mean, that's what it is. It's a tense setup with this, children's card game that they're playing. And, the stakes kind of aren't real. Like it's kind of fake. It's kind of all, nonsense. But what's going on personally for the people is fun and cool and interesting. And I like the fact that through this conflict in this chapter, or episode 6, we get to see the character of Shoto. He's advanced, he's grown, he's become more bold, he's become more daring, he's lost his he's lost his issue where he can't function properly under the conditions of being in the game, of seeing stuff play out in Lacuna. Instead of Lacuna offering a challenge for him, it's now something that he's become acclimated to, both from spending about 3 months in there, and then also spending that, I think, a 2-week period of the maintenance period where he and your girl Arisa were going at it in the card game over and over and over again. They're practicing really, really hard to do their best. And some combination of factors got Shoto to the point where he was feeling at the top of his game inside of Lacuna, and was able to play Digimon Liberator to the best of his ability. And it turns out his ability is pretty good, because I don't think that Yao sorry I don't think that Yao is supposed to be Yao's supposed to be a pushover. Like she's definitely not. She definitely presents a lot of interesting challenges to him through these new Digimon that he's never seen before, and these crazy abilities I think that are semi unique to these guys, and to her own tamer card or whatever, which I find that to be a whole interesting thing. They really offer some amazing challenges to him, but he gets what's going on and he rolls with it. And instead of shutting down at the challenge, he rises to the occasion and he ends up pulling out a victory against her through some desperate moves and some well planned things. And it's also possible that Yao was kind of going easy on him, giving him openings because perhaps she's just that skilled of a player. And she figured if I can set things up like this, then that gives him a win, an opportunity for a win. But he has to be clever enough and sharp enough to pick up on it. And I think that's interesting to speculate about. I also think it's interesting to note that, excuse me, he was unable to use the Fogmon for so long, and he had this whole strategy that he was able to come up with using medieval Gallantmon, who looks amazing. And yeah, it was really cool. So, like, I don't fully understand the rules of the card game, and the manga's not doing, or the webtoon is not doing the job of really teaching me how it's played, but I'm getting more familiar with it as things go on, and it's interesting to see what exactly can be done. Like I still don't fully understand the security checks, but I'm getting like there's the breeding zone, there's the battle zone, and there's like on summoning effects or on digivolving effects and different things like that. Also these inherited effects, which is I guess the effect passes from one Digimon to the next one. You're I think digivolving. So again, I'm still trying to figure it all out, and it's working, more or less. But I don't need to fully understand it in order to see some of the bigger plays or some of the bigger things that are going on and really be excited by them because I can see, oh yeah, he's coming from behind, and it's simple. Showing the the security barriers really makes it obvious that okay, this guy's got one. He has one left. She has two attacks probably, or she's got two Digimon on the field. If she lands an attack with both of them, he's dead. And when somehow he's able to stop her two Digimon from attacking, or even just one of them, I can see, okay, so that's turning things around for him, and he's getting, he's getting to do something interesting. So I'm scrolling through on my desktop here, and it says Murakami Hisashi as the artist of the Digimon, like the tamer card that that Shoto has of himself. And I need to look into that because it even says like Bandai, made in Japan, like Toei Animation. So like it has like actual card information on it. And I wonder if this Murakami Hisashi is the main Digimon artist for the card game, or if like he's secretly the artist for this webtoon, or what the deal is there. Interesting. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, I don't know the rules yet, but I'm still following along because it's being portrayed in such a way that it makes sense, and it's really cool. And I like I like how dramatic it is, and I like how cool it is, and I like how they're able to ratchet up the tension and have me feel the ups and downs and the the drama and the tension in the story itself or in the battle. And that's like that in and of itself is an achievement, I would say. And I find it really impressive. Also, I have no issue with the fact that that like it sounds like I'm complaining a little bit that I'm having to wait for these to be out in a batch so I can read a single episode all in one go. I'm not complaining about that. I understand it takes the artist and the writer time to do their thing, and I'm fine with that. It's just I prefer to consume it all, or take the story all in at one time. What was I going to say? I really love that Shoto has all these wind and bird and air type Digimon. That makes me happy, just as an aside. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, it was an exciting go. Like, Medieval Gallantmon is amazing. I'll talk about him more, though, on some shorts. And there's some other cool visual things that are going on here. It was a nice bit of fan service for some people who are into that, with the beach thing. And I like the fact that I do like that logistically, like they wanted to have the battle where nobody could see it and where they were in private. And there's some watchtower, high tower, sea tower, lighthouse. There was a lighthouse where they were battling, but you got to see some beach babes. I'm sure that was just an excuse for that. And anyway, yeah, it was. I mean, it was a really cool story and a really cool battle. And we're not progressing the story yet, but we do get this interesting moment at the end of it where we learn that Owen Dreadnought and Owen Dreadnought, whatever. I don't know if Dreadnought's supposed to be his actual last name or it's his gamer tag or what it is, but he was a neighbor of Shoto when they were both younger, and they used to play the Digimon card game together. And he basically told Shoto that because he doesn't have the killer instinct for Digimon, or whatever, for Digimon, that he like doesn't want to be his friend and he doesn't want to hang out with him anymore. And that was kind of interesting. But yeah, he's got a beef with this guy because he's not serious, and Owen is so serious, and he's gonna take this seriously and treat it like a real thing, not like some sort of kids game. And that's pretty interesting. Like it shows his character a little bit. We get some more insight into him and understand a little bit more what he's like, and that's good, obviously, for helping you to understand the character in the story. And I like that. I don't know what it means, but I now get his motivation. I know who the he is that he was talking about. He wants to show him that he's good enough and that he's grown, and that he has the skill now, and he wants to prove it to him. And he's like, oh, this is my answer. I'm going to show him my answer when he starts the battle. I'm pretty sure, as he's like pretty deep in the battle, in the thick of it, when he's in a real tight place. And yeah, that was cool. Also, like, they introduced this new mechanic of decode where Yao is able to, when one of her Digimon gets suspended or destroyed or whatever, she's able to automatically pull in one of the Digimon that's in its evolution line that she had played, because I know Digimon has like kind of different evolution lines, and that's pretty cool. And I like she was able to do that. I like that it was a surprise to them. I like that they're learning about the game as we're learning about the game. That's all really cool. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this webtoon, this manga, whatever, this Digimon story. It's super interesting. Even though we're not getting a lot of deep story, we're getting a lot of great character work going on, a lot of great character interactions, and a lot of exciting and dynamic things happening, even if we don't have a story fully evolving. So it'll be interesting to see how long this runs, and it'll be interesting to see what the story really is behind all this. But I kind of don't care because I'm being so well entertained by it, and maybe the debug novel will be a little more clear on a story, or maybe I will dislike it because it'll be less about battles and more, well, I mean, we'll see. I'm going to be getting into that next week, actually, and that should be pretty interesting. Also, I'll let you know when I start talking about other manga. I'm going to be talking about other manga on my other channel, which you can find everything linked that I do on mjmoynish.com, but it'll be on Fortress Fiction. I'm going to be talking about manga like the Akira Himekawa, I believe, is the Legend of Zelda author who just finished the Twilight Princess, like 11 or 12 volume issue that you can get through Viz. That was like in 2024, 2023 it ended. I think it was early 2024 or late 2023, something like that. Anyway, 11 or 12 volume Twilight Princess is done now and fully available in English. So Akira Himekawa, I believe is the name, is a couple ladies who do that, and they started a new manga that's a Viz exclusive. It's called Kamudo, and it's about this human dragon in this world of bestial demi-humans who are like dragon guys, wolf guys, leopard ladies, and all these different, half animal, half being, like a furry kind of thing, in this interesting fantasy world, which eventually becomes our world, I guess, as time goes on. So almost like a Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth becomes Earth type of deal. And it's really, I've only read chapter 1.1. I guess 1.2 is a whole nother length of chapter. But I'm really excited about that story. It looks like it could be an amazing epic, and it looks really cool. And I'm talking about that on my other channel. I'll be talking about that and other manga and other comics as well. And I'm going to be stepping up my production, as well as also pushing myself harder to finish my books and get them out there. And I'll let you know about all that at another time. I hope you enjoyed that. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I invite you to comment, ask questions, and share your thoughts with me. It's always more fun when you're part of the conversation. Until next time, shatter despair apart and show me your brave heart. Visit mjmunoz.com for more of my work and help me build up the Fortress Fiction.